There is a document every aspiring PhD or researcher should know about. You are not really taught how to write this document, but you are expected to know it. This document is a research proposal. It determines the feasibility of your research. Without a research proposal, there is no research. And in this video today, we are exploring how to write a compelling research proposal. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, I'm Josue, a PhD candidate in the Netherlands. And on this channel, I share research-related content every Monday. So if you're interested by such content, do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button in order not to miss any of our contents. The research proposal is the most important document you will write before starting a PhD. This document contains your research questions, the approach you'll be using to answer the research questions, but also it positions your research within the broader body of existing knowledge. For most universities, the research proposal is a mandatory requirement during PhD applications. So these universities will require from you a short 2-3 pages document that describes your research and the approach you'll be using to conduct the research. However, this application process varies across universities and across different countries. If you take the case of the Netherlands, you will notice that during the PhD applications, you are requested to submit a very short research proposal that describes the kind of research you will be conducting. But once you are admitted into the program, you are again required to write a revised research proposal, which is more feasible because it contains clearer research gaps, clearer research questions, clearer methodologies. So you're expected to do a little bit of research before starting the research program, and it becomes therefore crucial for you to know what a research proposal is all about. And in this video, I'll be taking you through the critical steps you need to know in order to write a research proposal. The research proposal is made up of several sections, starting with the title section, and then you have the abstract, which is generally very short, about 100 words. Following that, you will have a background section. After the background section, the objective section, which contains all your research questions you'll be focusing on. After this section, you have the research methodology, followed by the expected results and their significance. Here we are talking about expected results because at the moment you are writing the research proposal, you have not yet conducted the research. And if you've not yet conducted the research, it means that you don't have any results yet. And then after the results section, you will find the time planning. Like, are you conducting the research within 2 years, within 3 years, within 5 years? You will have to produce a Gantt chart that explains all the steps you will be taking to conduct the research and the timeline for each step. And the last section of this research proposal is the reference section or the bibliography. In order to find a suitable topic for your research project, the first thing to do is to think of the concepts you are using in your research. What are the concepts that you often use in the research? Which are the keywords that keep on coming up? What is the context of your research? Are you conducting the research in a particular region? Is it something that is applicable only to a specific group of people? Or is it something that can be generalized across the globe? And what is the approach you are using in the research? Once you have all this information together, you may want to combine them in order to form a concise and informative research topic. If you look at our particular example on the screen, you will see the topic, a machine learning approach for traffic congestion prediction in medium-sized cities. So this topic combines the approach, the main concept or keyword in the research, and the context. So what is the main concept used here? The main concept is traffic congestion. And what is the context? This research is applicable only to medium-sized cities. And what is the approach used in the research? The approach is the machine learning approach. So this is a strategy you can use in order to come out with a research topic, but you should bear in mind that research topics are not fixed. They keep on changing. The more you discover about your research, the more you know about your research, the more you can refine the topic. So this is a simple strategy you can use to determine the topic of your research. The abstract section summarizes the whole research proposal. Just like in an original research paper, you will often find an abstract section that contains around 200 to 250 words. And in this abstract, you will often find the general problem that the paper is addressing, the objective of the paper, the methods used in the paper, and the results obtained. So this section should be able to stand alone on its own. Somebody or a reviewer should be able to read only the abstract and understand clearly what problem you are solving and what are the results you got when you conducted the research. So similarly, in the research proposal, you will have to write this abstract, very short, but then you will not need to include the results. As I mentioned earlier, you don't have results yet. So you will just highlight the problem, the objective, the method you'll be using, and the expected result. Coming to the background section, here the aim of this section is to position your research relative to the existing body of knowledge. This shows that your research is not disconnected or isolated from the academic conversations. And in order to prove this, you will have to show that your research is grounded in the theories. So you will start by reading quite a number of papers just to discover or find out which are the theories that exist in your field, which are the main concepts someone would need to know in order to understand your research, what has been done so far in your field, and what is still left undone. What are the limitations of what has been done so far? This will generally lead to a problem. So you leave from a theory to a problem that your research is going to solve. The next section is the objective and the research question. This section contains the main objective of your research, which can be split into various sub-research questions. The idea here is to keep the research more oriented and measurable. And in order to do that, you need to ask specific questions which can help you to measure your progress towards the achievement of your goal, and also to help you know at the end of your research if you've really answered the question. The methodology section describes more practically the steps you will be taking in order to conduct your research. You will have to explain which method will you be using. Is it a quantitative or a qualitative method? Which type of data will you be collecting? How will you be collecting the data? How will you analyze the data? Which method specifically will you be using? In our case, we saw that we'll be using a machine learning approach, but it can further be more specific. Like within the machine learning approaches, which specific method are you going to use? You are also allowed in this section to talk about the potential challenges that you are going to encounter, because in research, nothing goes as planned. There will always be some challenges, some difficulties that you will face along the way. So in this section, you're going to identify some of the challenges you think you may encounter while conducting your research, and then provide some mitigation strategies to these challenges. Coming back to our research on traffic congestion prediction, you will find here the type of data that can be used in order to do this analysis, how the data can be processed, how the model will be built, how the model can be evaluated, the different comparisons that can be used in order to determine the accuracy of the random forest-based model that will be built, but also what are the potential challenges that can be encountered while conducting this research, and which mitigation strategy we can use in order to anticipate the challenge or in order to surmount this challenge. After the methodology, we have the expected results section and their significance. So in this section, you will briefly say what you're expected to have as result and how will it contribute to the current knowledge, how will it help the society, or how will it advance existing research. So here we see that our research brings a new contribution to research by bringing a new method for traffic congestion prediction in medium-sized cities. Another important section in the research proposal is the planning section. In this section, you will subdivide the research into different tasks, and each task will have a specific timeline. This can be in terms of months, in terms of weeks, whatever you prefer. You can say, for instance, for the first 6 months of my research, I want to focus on a literature review, and then for the next 3 months, I will want to collect data. All this will have to be documented somehow, and a good tool you can use to monitor your progress in the research is the Gantt chart. For example, on the screen, you will see that the research has been split into different tasks. You will see activity 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Equally, horizontally, you will see the starting date for each activity, and also the progress of each activity in percentages. So with this chart, you are able to see if you are progressing at a good pace or you need to improve. That becomes very practical and very handy to assess. The last section in the research proposal is the bibliography section, where you would include all the references you cited in your work, be it the academic and the non-academic sources. In this video, I gave you a general framework for developing a research proposal, which can be adapted to the requirements of different universities and also different advisors. So if you learned something from this session, feel free to share in the comment section, and above all, do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to have more research related content.